We're gonna go over all the keys behind training technique for Olympic weightlifters, and we're gonna start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in becoming a more technical lifter, you want to have that cognitive coordination, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you lift like a beast. So when we're talking about technique for anything, we need to establish a technical model. What that technical model does is it provides a blueprint for where we need to go. Think about, it's just like if we have directions to go to a destination. If we don't know where that destination is, we have no idea how to get there. We have no idea what we want to do, what we want to achieve. So if we can establish those technical models, specifically for the snatch, for the clean, for the jerk, now we can understand where we need to go. This is the technical model being established. This is exactly how we need to move. This is where the lifter is. How can we take steps along the road to get to that point? So once we establish that technical model, in our case with our current lifter, Hayley Reichardt, we are moving and we're working towards that technical model of Quo. And if we can move a little bit more like Quo, we can start to see a little more technical gains, and that application of the strength through technique leads to much greater competitive movements. So one of the hardest things to teach when we're talking about technique for weightlifting is what are you going to be doing off the floor? What are you doing from the bottom of the knee to the above the knee? And I like to call this whole area be like no man's land. So a lot of lifts are lost here. So if you watch, what we're doing with Hayley is her knees come back and then her knees travel forward to right about here, which is referred to as the reciprocation point. So her knees reciprocate forward here. So she's gonna pause with an isometric muscle action here in the reciprocation point. She'll sit there and she'll feel those knees forward while her heels are grounded. So she's holding that flat foot while her knees are transferring forward, and she's keeping that chest forward. So now she's gonna feel her full foot, her hip flexion here, her quads are loaded, her hamstrings are loaded, so she's got a nice co-contraction in her hamstrings and her quads, and this position is gonna help keep that bar tighter with a really vertical finish. And you're gonna see that as she progresses, that knee movement will transfer over to those full lifts later on, but it's important, again, to understand, it goes back to the technical model. What is your technical model doing, and how can you get to that point? So if you even think there, what she's doing too is it's that feeling of chest over the bar. So the knees are back, the knees come forward, but the chest stays over, and it all comes back to that hip flexion here and the knee flexion. This knee flexion action is gonna load the hamstrings and the quads, and if you can feel that tension in here in the hip through your foot, now that's gonna help with a vertical finish here instead of getting that chest way behind the bar. Once the chest gets behind the bar, that's when everything starts to loop, and you tend to jump back or miss it forward because you're jumping back. Okay, so we were just downstairs with Hayley Reichardt, as she's prepping for Pan Am, Senior Pan Am's coming up, and we got to check out some of her workout and how she goes about the technical aspects of everything. And so now I want to look at some of these lifts in slow motion. I want to see what she's doing and see, if there's any errors that I didn't see in real time, right? And so we're doing this reciprocation pause snatch, and what this is, the whole focus here is getting those knees back, and you can see she does a good job there. Now her knees are coming forward. Now she lets her butt drop a little too much. Does a good job staying on the heels there. So this is one of her early sets there in the snatch. Watching this again, the big goals that we've got to think about when we're talking about technique in the O lifts is what's happening right off the floor. So she did a really good job with those knees clearing back. If you can get your lifters to get their knees to clear back, right? If you can get them to understand that, that is going to help the chest stay forward more. If the knees stay forward and the bar comes forward, to make up for that, their chest will end up going back significantly, and so they're going to get on their toes a little early. They might get pulled forward if it's really heavy, or they might jump back. So it's really, really key to understand if the knees don't clear back, what's going to end up happening. So this is Hayley's second rep here. Let's see how she pushes those knees back. And the whole point of these little drills is to get the feeling of a normal snatch, right? So she gets those knees back, knees are back over the heels there. Now the knees come forward. And you can see there how vertical that finish was. That rep was a little bit better. Good catch there, nice and stable. Feet slide to the heels, and she does a good job. Now we're gonna go into a little bit heavier load now. So now that last set was Hayley at 60 kilos. Now we're getting into some pretty heavy weight for her, especially with this drill. I think the heaviest she's ever hit with this is 72 kilos. So this is close to her best. Now, knees got to clear back. She's got to have a tight back. Knees clear back, good. The shins are vertical. She comes through with the knees and she's holding the hip flexion. Good. She stays on those heels for a long time, and you can see that chest staying forward. Okay, the chest staying forward is key. If the chest is forward, she's going to be utilizing that back squat that she is. She can back squat 150 kilos at 50 kilo body weight. So we're talking triple body weight back squat. And what she does there is she actually utilizes that back squat. If your chest is getting way behind the bar, you're not actually utilizing the strength that you have from the back squat. If you can keep that chest forward, you're gonna be in almost the exact same plane that you are and when you're squatting with a high bar back squat. So she's gonna get into this second rep here, and again, it's just important to keep thinking about how these lifts can transfer over, and especially at 70 kilos. I believe she can hit this for a double. She can snatch 82 to 85 kilos 100%, right? And now it depends on the day and how she's feeling, but I believe that's very feasible, because this is a very challenging lift. It's a very technical lift that requires a ton of patience and a ton of focus, and you have to understand that big technical model. If you don't establish that technical model with your lifters, they're not going to know what they're trying to feel, what they're trying to strive towards. Okay, so this is where we're going to see right now that lift off happens, or the heels staying grounded on the lift off. Does a good job. Knees come back, knees come through just like a normal lift. Holds that position, comes out of that. Boom, elbows come back. It's not bad. Slightly out of position, but that's still pretty good. Again, 70 kilos, pause at the reciprocation point. The reciprocation point is just above the knee, about 4 to 6 inches. That's when the knees start to travel forward while holding that chest forward, while holding that hip flexion, while holding your heels grounded. And this is a really good lift that can transfer over to the snatch. Next lift we're going to get into is her no feet cleans. Okay, just like we mentioned when Hayley was training downstairs, is we're trying to utilize these no feet cleans to teach her how to stay grounded for a long period of time. The longer you're grounded on the pull, the longer you can apply force into the bar. So she's her feet are in that catch position, right? So knees come back right there, come through. Look at how vertical her chest is and how much upper body action she has out of that, right? A lot of people forget that when we're executing that clean, okay, when we're executing a no feet clean, there's a lot of upper body movement. A lot of people say, well, we don't want our arms to bend. If your knees are doing what they need to do, the next step is to educate the lifter on what to do with the upper body. And so let's go back into this. The knees clear back, and you can see, pay attention to the knee movement, pay attention to her chest. Her chest on the finish is almost perfectly vertical, and that's why she can clean and jerk. That's why she's hit 110 kilos. That's why she hit 105 at nationals. Knees come through, chest forward, and that's right around the shoulders, right into that catch position, nice and tight. Feet are grounded the entire time, and it's just this is a great drill to utilize when teaching proper clean technique, to teach an athlete how to stay connected with the bar, but how to finish very tight and how to catch rapidly. A lot of athletes, a lot of weightlifters struggle with absorbing that energy and absorbing that force. No feet cleans are one of the best exercises that you can utilize to teach them how to move well and absorb that force. So if you want help with your technique work, with becoming a better weightlifter, you want to have a better understanding of Olympic weightlifting, head over to GarageStrength.com. You can click on the link down below in the description. You can pick up our Parabolic Periodization book and course, or if you want a program to help you become a better Olympic weightlifter, you can click on one of the links down below to pick up one of your specialty built Olympic weightlifting programs that's going to help you become a more technical lifter. If you want more information about Olympic weightlifting technique, you can click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.